Alrighty guys, welcome to the video portion of this thing that we call editing weddings and stuff. But my name is Colby Novak with buildawedding.net, also with colbynovakimages.com, and today we're going to show you exactly how we edit our wedding highlight videos, our full videos, and our ceremonies. So here we go. So this is the full thing. I'm not going to show you the full thing right now. I'm going to show you the trailer. So this is our wedding highlight trailer. Now, you can see it's pretty organized. I mean, it doesn't look too complicated, and it looks fairly easy to do. Well, that's where you're wrong. Our highlight trailers they're not too complicated, but they do take a good while to do. So our process begins first with organizing clips and picking out which clips are our favorites. So right after every wedding, we dump all of our footage onto our solid state drives and to our backup network drive, and we watch every single clip that we shoot. And we mark down which clips that we like on a piece of paper and which ones we don't like. And these are all the ones that I liked. For the most part, these are all the ones I liked. I have a separate bin on a separate screen that you can't see. But these are all the clips that we like, and yeah. So what we'll do first is, for example, this is already edited, but say if I wanted this shot to be first. So what I'll do is I'll drag it from here to from our bin to our source monitor, and I'll select what part of the clip I want to drag into the timeline. So up here, say if I wanted to start the clip right there, I'll hit I for in, and I'll drag a little further, and I for out. And that already cuts it up here. And all I have to do is literally grab this little video thingy and drag to the bottom, and then it's cut. And I just have to place it where I need to. But if you're saying, hey, I need to make it a little longer, well, not to worry. I can just drag it and make the clip a little longer or shorter how I need it. But that's getting technical, and this isn't a technical tutorial. This is to show my clients or future clients or brides that are waiting for their product and they're wondering why it's taking more than 2 days to get back with them. Well, this is why. So to edit this whole entire piece, it takes about 7 man-hours. So a good complete day to just edit it, and then another 3 to 4 hours to watch every single clip. So right there, you're looking at an average of 11 hours to do a completed highlight trailer. That's just editing it. We're not worrying about audio because right now we're just doing the video splicing and cutting and putting the thing together. So we're looking at a good 11 hours, let's say, to do just the color, just the putting it together. So there's this top piece. Now down here, you're probably thinking, like, what is that? It looks like a audio track. Well, you're exactly right. This is our song, and I always tell every client of mine to choose a song that they like, preferably an upbeat one. And this is their song that they chose. I can't remember what song they chose. Actually, no, we just went with a instrumental song for them, and we edit to the music. Now, you might be thinking, oh, it's just easy just to cut a couple clips randomly and drag them in there. No, not quite. So what we do here is we try to edit on a beat. So you'll see right here, these are little drum beats, and we'll try to edit pretty close to these drum beats. And sometimes these little waveforms are a little off, so we'll actually edit to the drum beat and make the video flow with music. But anyway, we're not getting into technical stuff today, like I said, so I need to refrain myself from getting too technical, even though I am a technical nerd and I could go on and on and on about the technicality of this program and the specs behind it, but we're not going to do that today. This is just the waveform monitor, so I didn't really do any editing to this little audio clip. I just kind of drug the audio levels to where they match and they're not peaking or anything. And then this one, there's some audio down here, and all I did was lower the volume. Now, if we go down here, this is microphone audio, and it has been cleaned up. Now, when we shot this on the day of, we had some really awkward, loud, annoying hissing coming from the speakers in the chapel, and it just drove me insane. So what I had to do was actually edit it in a external audio editing program. So we'll actually right-click it, go into Adobe Audition, and we'll actually bring this up in a whole separate program. So actually it's loading right now. So here, I'll drag it over to the screen. So that little clip right there is now over here. And I just want to show you exactly what we do with all of our videos. All of our videos go through this processing, and this gets a little bit tricky because I am not an audio expert. I know a good chunk about audio and how audio works, but I'm definitely not an expert. So this is just our waveform. So what I typically do is I'll say this is noise right here. This is silent, so I'll highlight it. I'll go up to effects, I'll go to noise restoration and whatever, and go to capture noise print. That will capture that little noise. It'll tell the computer that is the noise, and I'll go back effect, restoration, noise reduction, go to process, noise reduction process. I'm talking way too fast today because it's like 12 o'clock at night and I'm just like, oh my goodness. But if we bring this over to this other screen, this is actually noise. All this red in here is noise. All the green is kind of noise, but not really. And everything else is just good stuff. So what I typically like to do is I'll be playing it back, listening to where I need to edit these little markers, and I just take some tweaking. But this is how I do it. But I'll sit with this little screen for probably 20-30 minutes, just getting it just perfect to where I get rid of most of the noise. And yeah, so that's how we edit that's basically how we edit our audio. So a typical ceremony, a good 45-minute ceremony, you can see doing this would take a good chunk of time to do, and it does. So yeah, that's how we edit and do our audio for our video. Now if we go into our color correction, so if you can actually see, watch this little screen right here, when I toggle this on and off, you can actually see some color difference. And that is our color correction and our doing like a style to it as well. It's actually called, oh my gosh, I have a degree in this and I can't remember what the stupid thing is called. So it's just color correction, and yeah. So just color correction. We're just going to call it color correction for today. So in this layer, we have all of our adjustments. And if we go in here, once we get all of our, now by the way, all these little separate clips have this same thing in here. This is just like our overall style layer, and all these little clips have all been corrected to look the same. If you go back to our previous photo looking tutorial looking thing, it's basically the same process. What I'll do is I'll match each one of these clips to look the same exposure wise and color wise, and then once they all look the same, I'll drag an adjustment layer and put a style on them. That way it has the similar style for every clip. So yeah, and this is actually what they do in Hollywood movies too. This is the exact same software that they use over in Hollywood, so the exact same thing. So what I'll do in here typically is I'll just give it a little contrast, then take away some contrast. It gives like a little matte finish. I'll put some reds in the shadows and some blues in the shadows to give this nice different looking image. It's a nice, sweet, romantic kind of color scheme, and that typically doesn't take more than 10-15 minutes, just because I've gotten really good at it. And typically I just copy and paste it from wedding to wedding. I use the same style through every looking thing. So yeah, all in all, once we get done doing audio and color, it takes a good 14 hours to do one trailer. Now you might think, oh my gosh, then that means you can get my wedding done in a day or so. Well, I wish. Typically on any given day, we have about 20 or 30 weddings being edited at one time. So, editing that many weddings, we can only do so much. And here at Build a Wedding, it's just me and 2 other editors. Sometimes it's just me, depending on how they work, because they're just contract based. So getting your video out in a timely manner sometimes is hard, especially when we're in the heart of wedding season. And when we're in the heart of wedding season, it is not fun for anybody around here when we're doing all these weddings, because we're trying to get them out in a timely manner, but we also want to take our time and do everything right. So that's how we edit our trailer. We're going to go over here and I'll show you exactly how we edit our ceremony. Here's our ceremony. So now you may think, oh my gosh, this thing is so complicated, and actually it's really not. And if you're a photographer out there, a video guy, you're like, oh my gosh, that's not the right way to edit. And I'm like, I know it's not the right way to edit. I should be doing multicam, but I've gotten so good at doing it this way, I just do it this way. So what this is a 3-camera setup. We've got one camera up here, and we've got another camera down here, another camera down here. And usually these are one big clips, and I've just cut them to where they, cut in between each camera. So if you actually watch while I scrub through it, it's actually changing cameras and so on and so forth. So a typical edit, just cutting the video just like we were a while ago, typically only takes about 45 minutes to do. So doing this whole, just cutting the ceremony takes 45 minutes to an hour to do. And that's the easy part. Now we go into audio. This is all microphone audio down here. All this blue stuff down here we actually don't need. That's actually muted, so when I render it out in the final video, you actually don't hear it. But all here is microphone audio. Just like I showed you a while ago, I actually go in there and clean up all the noise throughout this. So I've got to do that noise reduction process about 10 to 15 times throughout this clip, because the noise levels change and the noise frequencies change as well. So that took a good chunk of change, or it's not money, a good chunk of time. So we didn't want to be too timely. I mean, we got it pretty perfect, but I mean, it could be a little better if I spent 10 more hours on it, but it's still pretty awesome. So, and all in all, it takes about 3 to 4 hours to edit a typical ceremony. That's nowhere near the time it does to do a typical trailer edit, but a typical ceremony only takes about 4 hours to do. So that's how we do our ceremony stuff. Now, when we have one more edit we usually offer, which is our full stuff. And our full edits consist of our first trailer and our ceremony that I just showed you, and all the events, all the major events that happen at every wedding, like the bouquet toss, the first dance, the toasts, and all that good stuff. We'll just record it and put it in the timeline. Now, this edit doesn't take more than 20, 30 minutes to put together. It's the other stuff that takes so long to do. So what we'll do is, we'll mark each clip, like say this was a first dance, or actually this is a toast. So I'll mark that as a toast clip, drag it in here, and just kind of drag and drop. Nothing too fancy, it's just traditional wedding video, so that way you have all of the major moments of your day just all in one file, so that way you can, edit, or not edit, that way you can just watch it all in sequence of your day. Now a lot of people ask me, like, so it's just traditional video, does it take you that time? So what am I paying for? You're paying for this, the highlight. That's what is hard. That's what takes a lot of time and a lot of man hours to do. So other stuff doesn't take very long, but I know a lot of clients ask me, well, I wanted a full hour-and-a-half version of this, of the trailer. Well, I want you to think about something. A movie is edited just like this trailer. It's edited with fast cuts and everything else. But look how long it takes them to make a movie. It takes numerous people, hundreds of people, and almost 2 to 3 years to make a full 1.5 hour movie. This is 45 minutes long, so it's about half the time of a full feature movie, but I got it cranked out in about 2 months. So you've got to think, we can't literally possibly shoot enough footage to do a whole hour-and-a-half video like that. That would just, for one, we would start repeating shots, it would get boring. I promise you would lose interest. So this is the best way I found to do it, and this keeps costs low because this is what takes time. So if we did a full 45-minute version of it, that's only 3 minutes long. Multiply do 45 divided by 3, that would just take so long, and I'd have to charge you $1 million to do this thing. No, I'm just kidding. I wouldn't charge you $1 million, but I have to charge you a good chunk of change. That's the time I can use a good chunk of change. I'd have to charge you a good chunk of change to do that edit. Hey, bye, hey, Beth. I'm just kidding. We're not gonna do that. But anyway, that's how we do our wedding video edits. So we can our typical turnaround when we're just average busy is about 2 to 3 weeks for our trailer edits, and then for everything else to be copied over is a couple months. I totally said that wrong. Depending on our workload, our trailer edits, I try to get them cranked out in 3 weeks, but that's trailer edit, and then I move on to the next person. To get the ceremony and the full edit, get all your files copied, converted, and everything else takes a good month or two after that. But when we start this, depends. So if your wedding was, say, Saturday, we might not start this until another 5 weeks after your wedding, just because we have other weddings on the schedule. So I hope this clears up a lot of questions if you're a client of mine, or if you're a client looking to book us and wondering what's your turnaround time like. So again, my name is Colby Novak with buildawedding.net, and also with colbynovakimages.com, and I hope you enjoyed this video, a little insight on how we do our wedding video editing and color correction, all the good stuff that goes into awesome wedding videos. So if you have any questions, feel free to contact me at colby@build-a-wedding.net or Colby at colbynovakimages.com. I say my name way too much. So thanks again, guys. And again, if you're a client of mine, I greatly appreciate your business. You do not know what it means to have so many awesome clients. And if you're a future client of mine or a person looking to book us, I hope this gives you some insight on how we work here at Build a Wedding. And just a quick thing, I want to show you exactly how many weddings we have on standby right now. This is how many weddings we've got. These are the ones that have not been completed yet, and these are all from the past 2 months. So we got quite a bit on our plate right now. So yeah, just wanted to show you how many weddings we do on a typical basis. So again, my name is Colby Novak with buildawedding.net, and thank you again, everybody, for your business and just for being awesome people all the time. Thanks, guys.